a lot in the offing in this encounter, because if you go back and look at the better part of a decade and a half, there's a lot riding on the Qatari owners of the Paris Saint-Germain outfit as well too. They've spent a lot of money.
Mbappe, Neymar, Messi,
Cavani,
Abramovich,
go back, lots of players, Di Maria,
Lavesi.
Thank you.
You know, before this is what you are calling now. Before then, there was the
SS spending.
before then.
Now let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Play ball! It's going to be Inter Milan versus PSG. Interesting game of football. Even though that Inter Milan are a defensive side, but they scored 9 or 10 against Barcelona. How many they score again? I think
7
goals against Barcelona.
3 at Camp Nou.
That means they
4
at San Siro. That means they score goals even though they defend well. But PSG are a team that likes attack. They like attack. They defend well too, but they like an attacking brand of football because of the coach they have. Imagine coaching Barcelona. Once you coach Barcelona, there is something about you that will just translate to attacking football. If you look at this final, so what do you think will happen in today's final?
Enrique has proven to us that anything can happen in football. Once you get your setup right, you get your teams right, you get everything right, anything can happen. You can go on to win trophies, you can go on to win games. Look at PSG that nobody thought would be in the finals after that. I think this is the second final in the last 8 years.
After even finishing at, what did they finish, about 20th on the table? I think they survived. We are looking at TV.
At some point, they were 26th on the table, yes. And they say when you are good with cup competitions, you play the group stage anyhow and just manage to qualify. Once you qualify for the knockout stages, you're good from there. You get, and the teams that are out now, look at the teams that top the table. The first 3, they are at home now chilling, except for Inter Milan, who is still in the finals. The rest of them are still chilling at home. So it tells you that some teams are good in competition. And like I said, if you're good with your team, if you're good with your tactics, like John said, the widget, if it works for you, just carry it anywhere you go. Don't change anything. You're not going to come into the finals and experiment. Let's say, okay, fine, you're coming into this final, you drop a Vitinha and see how it goes. Bro, Vitinha, Joao Neves, and Fabio Ruiz has been your team through and through. Even through Arsenal, they were the men that held that midfield. So you now come against Inter Milan and you want to change it because Inter Milan will play a little bit defensive. It's going to be a problem for Enrique. Now coming on to the Simone side, Simone has proven to me that Inzaghi has proven to me that he has earned my full chest. I'll say he has earned my expectation. The full flower company I give him, because for you to take an Inter Milan side that was there or thereabout, more than like. They've lost about 4 or 5 players in that side. And anytime they lose the player, you don't feel it because there's a replacement for you immediately. As they come up for the starting lineup, somebody will want to replace it, they're like 2 years ahead of you. So it's like you're replacing this player and you're not feeling the impact of those players being left out.
Yeah, but I think Inzaghi has really built that side. I don't think they are a selling club because normally they buy players from 26, 27 years. So once you play 3 or 4 years, you are stuck. Who won't come buy Mkhitaryan or waiting be that guy name?
Valid points.
But they buy experienced players, which works for them.
Yes.
Now look at it now. They are young. You know, we look at the experienced players. I'll be like, they are experienced players. But forget that some of these players have been there for the past 8 years and they came in young.
Wow. The likes of Mkhitaryan, the likes of this other guy, they didn't come in young, bro.
No, you mentioned 5 of them. I said many of them. But you see young players. Bastoni not be young boy when they bring him in. The other guy where they Bisek. Dumfries. Hakimi came and left.
I think about the last squad. If you keep a squad together,
if you keep them.
At least 4 years, there's always likely they're going to win, especially
something major trophy.
I noticed that with Chelsea, even Manchester United, they are not a selling club. You keep a crop of players together for a very long time.
You can sell other things around the players, but those main guys they stay.
I think that's why I'm hopeful for Arsenal too. If they are not a selling club,
that these main guys, other guys and the rest of them stay.
But Inter Milan and John has actually done well this season, even though they lost the Serie A with just I think 2 points or 1 point or
1 point.
They lost the Serie A, they almost won it. But in the Champions League is basically, I won't call it luck, but you need luck on your side.
Of course.
Like I remember Chelsea versus Bayern Munich. I think Chelsea had about 3 shots on target and scored for 1 corner kick and
that was it.
Yeah, and went to penalty and they won that trophy. The same season they beat Barcelona the same season. So even if you can be good and still lose,
of course.
PSG can be good and still lose in Inter Milan. But in this game in particular, what do you think will happen in this game?
You know, we are seeing something we haven't seen in a very long time. Just to give you kind of like a historical significance of the finals, we are seeing a Champions League finals that we haven't seen since 2004. We are seeing a Champions League finals without the German side, without the English side, without the Spanish side. It's just the finals between the French and the Italian side. And we haven't seen a Champions League winner come from France since 1993. when Olympic Marseille last won it. So there's a lot at stake riding on this game for Paris Saint-Germain. There's a lot, riding for the team. There's a lot in the offing, there's a lot in the offing in this encounter, because if you go back and look at the better part of a decade and a half, there's a lot riding on the Qatari owners of the Paris Saint-Germain outfit as well too. They've spent a lot of money.
Mbappe, Neymar, Messi,
Cavani,
Abramovich,
go back, lots of players, Di Maria,
Lavesi.
Thank you.
Before this people that you are calling now, before then there was before then there was a time of Beckham, Ronaldinho, JJ Okocha, and the rest of them.
That one now way back. Now they never. The Qatari owners never took over.
And then they want try win trophy. They don't work.
Ronaldo was not really a big star then. After the World Cup, he became that big star. He was good, but he wasn't that. Okocha is Okocha. Everybody just there.
No, I'm not saying media presence kind of player.
When the Qatari came in,
I said before then we had this crop of players that were very good.
They didn't do anything in Champions League. They didn't do anything like
yes.
So why are we talking about?
They tried to build.
Because way back then the dominating power was Olympic Lyon. You have Vitinho, you have men there. They were winning it back to back with Benzema as well. So
once
a lot.
I want to come out.
Yes, and then they will go back. Lyon will continue again. Yes, so there's a lot riding on this game in the sense that this could be the culmination of the investment the Qatari owners have made into the club, and they found out that the Galacticos way doesn't work. Even Real Madrid, they choke for Real Madrid. How many Champions League they win that period?
One.
So they've thrown away that plan. They have a new plan now. They are working with youth, and they are working with a youth setup rather than playing around an individual. They are working as a collective. You could see that in the way they got up to the final. In their path to the final, they've knocked out 3 Premier League teams, and they are on to the finals. Finally, they are going to meet Inter Milan, a worthy adversary, if you ask me, in the finals. And everything he just has to deliver today. Paris Saint-Germain, Luis Enrique has to deliver today.
It would be interesting if Barcelona and PSG play this final, but PSG is there. Inter Milan is there because it's on merit.
No doubt.
Barcelona played better or not, Inter Milan are on merit. But Enrique, as you said about PSG, they have invested a whole lot in that club. A whole lot. I think that somebody brought in Ancelotti, brought in David Beckham, brought in Cavani, Abramovich, Lavesi, Thiago Motta.
Spending.
I can name it. Even these Brazilian defenders.
Marquinhos and his brother.
And his brother that moved to Chelsea. What is his name again?
David Luiz.
No, Thiago Silva.
Sorry,
David Luiz at some point.
Gigi Buffon too.
They brought in a whole lot of experienced players. I can't even start naming them. They brought in a whole stars of players, but somehow they couldn't crack that Champions League. The highest they reached is that finals. Yeah. They lost to Bayern Munich, but they have a chance to win it this time. So again, this spending big on big stars, even though this period they don't even have big stars. I don't know what football now is somehow fading.
I wouldn't say football is fading.
Then you could actually assemble a top players in one team, and you could see other top players in everywhere. But now few top players there and there, but we will see. But generally in the Champions League, if you look at it, give me your prediction and just tell me straight up. What do you think will happen? Is who will score? How many goals do you think will happen? Will it be a one goal, maybe one goal will decide it, or 2 goals, or it's going to be 5-4?
I just to give you, let me say, a feeler for what you said earlier on. Inter Milan are a super defensive side, and I said it takes a very good adversary to bring out the best in you. We didn't see Inter Milan win any game 4-0 or 4-1 or whatever. Until they played Barcelona. Barcelona brought out that edge in them. They saw themselves rise to the occasion and create something out of nothing in that encounter. I'm also saying in this encounter that Paris Saint-Germain are going to have to bring something out of Inter Milan in this encounter, because Paris Saint-Germain, the way they attack the people they have, the capacity to move the ball up and down the pitch in split seconds, is going to shake a lot of those guys in the Inter Milan side. And for me personally, I love a good fairy tale story, and I love to see the Paris Saint-Germain fairy tale story come to an end today with a Champions League win.
You're okay. all this long talk, I just need PSG. We may fish him Mbappe because it goes.
This was I want to ask.
That all this story.
It's not even about shaming Mbappe. It's about Paris Saint-Germain winning it.
Inter Milan has not won it since 2010.
They don't consign me. They've won it before.
2010.
They have won it twice.
Yes.
The last time 2010. 2010 never owed respect. Because they bought 2010 never reached to marry now.
You never reached now.
Same way with Inter Milan. That Champions League they don't win, don't old. They need to rebrand the dressing room. So me, I'm sticking with Inter Milan though, because like I said from the beginning of this show, it's either the English Premier League or the Italian Serie A. And in the Champions League final, we have the Italian Serie A, and we have my boys playing it: the Nicolo Barella, the Bisek, the Bastoni, the Dumfries, and all of that. So I'm sticking with my Inter Milan side. So at least we maybe 3-2.
Okay, talking about Dumfries, and that right back is going to be interesting. Hakimi on that side, and Dumfries from the other side is going to be Dumfries somehow in the second half of the season.
You're leaving out a certain Mendes.
I've done great in this second half of the season. Hakimi is always going to be Hakimi. That guy is somebody that he has just performed. He keeps performing every single year. Every single year he performs, from Real Madrid to
the Inter Milan side,
to
PSG side.
To PSG. He played for Inter Milan.
Yes, he played for
PSG. So I think that right back side is going to be interesting in both teams. But talking about Mbappe and this Champions League PSG, I know that if they win today, or more, they will finish Mbappe.
It's not about finishing Mbappe. Like, for example, that story has happened and moved on. The fans definitely will have a dig or two. Obviously, he wouldn't be the first person to leave a club in chase of Champions League, and the club he left wins it. And it happened to Buffon. It's happened to a couple of other people out there, and it shouldn't be a dig at him because they won it. Simple.
It should just interesting if PSG wins today's Champions League, then their fans, not really the owner, they won't bother. Their fans will have something to say about Mbappe after the whole trouble with Mbappe trying to win the championship, trying him to be in that club. But for Inter Milan, they are going to try and win it. The last time they played the final, they lost to Manchester City 1-0. It was an interesting game that year, but somehow Rodri scored the only goal in that game. But they have a chance again to play the final. I think Inzaghi have done well for Inter Milan. He's been negotiating contracts with them, but let's see how it works in today's final. After today's final, they go back to the negotiation table to see if he's going to stay at that club or not. Please tell us your own prediction about today's Champions League games. Okay, on our YouTube, Chooks, welcome to the show. Chooks, thank you for always being here with us on our YouTube channel at Volt FM Sports. Chooks saying today is the day Inter. Okay, today is the day Inter all the way. And okay, Chooks saying PSG don't possess the experience needed to overcome Inter Milan. So let them try next season, because Inter will find a way to go through to win the competition. Okay, not go into that one too much. Okay, and I played to be on our YouTube channel is predicting that PSG win Inter Milan today by 2 goals to 1. No, give me your score line.
Now give me score line. I tell you 3-2. Inter Milan win.
What
you give me?
3-0.
3-0 for PSG.
Okay.
I tell you on time. I know hide mouth. I talk and do am as be.